On this Earth Day, I know today families are thinking about going green, which is great, but what about growing green, as in building your bank account, that kind of green, moolah. Never too early to start teaching your kids how to save and how to spend. Co-founders of Benjamin Talks, Carissa Jordan and Nikki Boulukos, join us this morning to answer some of our biggest questions. Good morning, ladies. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you.
I know you are both parents like me. I have 3 kiddos right now, and my wife and I have been debating, going back and forth on the whole allowance thing right now, and trying to show them good money practices. Talk about your background a little bit, how you got your kids involved with spending and the conversations you've had.
Sure. So Nikki and I first met over a decade ago on the trading floors at Goldman Sachs. Fast forward 10 years later, we found ourselves living in the same New York City suburb, raising our small young children. We have 6 kids between us. And we realized there was really no blueprint to teach very young children about money. So we launched Benjamin Talks in November of 2020 to do just that. Through our website, benjamintalks.com, our weekly newsletters, we give parents the tips and tricks they need to talk to their young families about all things money related. And while content is really king, we also have our patent pending Benji Bank, which is our take on the piggy bank. And we feel it's a perfect product that families can use to really help their little ones flex those financial muscles.
Okay, so we're looking at the bank right now. I see a spend, save, and give category. Can you touch on that a little bit, Carissa?
Sure. So really how we think about spending dollars, those are the dollars used for everyday purposes. Maybe it's to get a Gatorade out of a vending machine. Okay. Maybe it's to buy an ice pop at the from the ice cream man. The saving dollars is really long-term goals, but in an age-appropriate way. So while a 5-year-old may use those saving dollars to save for a rollerblade or a scooter, a 12-year-old may be saving for something a little bit more longer term. And the giving dollars is really the money that we use and we teach our children to use to give to causes that resonate with them, and also for food drives and school opportunities that the schools present for charitable giving.
I really like the fact that you included the give box, right? Because that's just so important to teach our kids at a young age. When we're talking about allowance here, when's too early? When's too late? What's the right age, or is that just dependent on each parent's child?
So really, when it comes to allowance specifically, we recommend starting at age 5, but the research actually shows that children as young as the age of 3 can understand value. And then children ages 7 can really have a fully formed relationship with money. And a lot of that is what's modeled to them by their caregivers or their parents. So our target demographic is really 5 to 13. Starting those conversations early and often are super important. 50% of parents feel pretty uncomfortable talking to their kids about money. So that's kind of where we come in. Check out our website. The content's free. It really gives you those prompts and those pennies for their thoughts for kids to just get those conversations going.
And for all things allowance, we actually have tips and tricks on that on our website that you could find. And so we have a really helpful article on that. So be sure to check it out.
Yeah, for sure. Any other money-related activities that we should be thinking about getting our kids involved in?
So we really going back to allowance as the foundation to just get those conversations going. And our Benji Bank, which you mentioned, has the 3 silos: the spend, the save, and the give. And we actually like to use these 3 prompts just to narrate as we spend. So say we're out buying a bagel and a coffee at the deli, we turn to our kids, you're tapping your phone, you're using your debit card, explain to them money from our bank account is going to the deli's bank account, and really involving them in even just the smallest way. And in terms of giving, if there's a school fundraiser and you're using those giving dollars, take them to the grocery store, involve them in buying the canned goods, let them pick it out. You'll see they're super proud to then march into school with what they've chosen, and just involving them in those everyday moments can make such a huge difference in building the foundation.
Yeah, and I think, Nikki, it's important too, we're all on our iPads and our phones and we're just swiping things. And the kids are like, well, can I just swipe things and then something shows up on my front door in a package? It's not how it works, right? You got to have that conversation.
Exactly. I think we're all trying to teach our kids, and I know as adults we could use it too, a little bit more delayed gratification, and that's a topic we touch on, and it's super important. And you can start with that again at the age of 3 or 4, just starting instilling those little money moments, and just starting those conversations.
Great, Carissa and Nikki, where can we learn more?
So you can visit our website, benjamintalks.com. You can also follow us on Instagram at Benjamin Talks, where we give a lot of quick tips and tricks. And be sure to sign up for our newsletters, including the BT Gazette, which is really where we break down the current events as they relate to money, finance, and business for parents and their money-savvy kids alike. And we end all our content, like Nikki mentioned, with a penny for their thoughts. And that's really the tool parents use to start the money conversation. So be sure to check us out on Instagram at Benjamin Talks and our website, benjamintalks.com.
Carissa, Nikki, thanks so much for your time here this morning. Sure appreciate it.
Thank you.
Interesting that as young as 3, 4, 5 years old, you can start talking about money. I mean, and they need to understand what you're swiping, and that actually costs something. That you went to work, made money, and now you're giving that money to someplace. And having that conversation early goes a long way.
I'm sure, so they don't just think it just miraculously happens. Like, we work to then provide you.
And did you notice in their money bank they had that give category? Teaching that at a young age is such an important component. Not just save and not just spend, but you got to save some of that for the save.
Think about allowance in a year. Like Roya will be 3 in a year from now. I didn't even think about teaching her allowance and when to give that. And so it's coming up.
If they really want something bad enough, then they got to save for it. That's a lifelong lesson. Right?
Yep.